I will call to order the joint meeting of Lincoln County Board of Commissioners and the Planning Board on this 5th day of January 2026. If you would, please join me and stand for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Mr. Chairman, if we could recognize that Kathy Davis, our chairperson, her husband is pretty gravely ill right now, and would offer our prayers to him for his health and safety.
Thanks, bud. I'll entertain a motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
So moved, sir.
All right, motion by Commissioner Cecina. Any further discussion?
We're going to move, I'm sorry, Alex.
All right. We'll do that on.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, any further discussion on the, all right. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. The agenda is approved, and we'll move over to the consent agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I would ask that we move item D to after item 4 for consideration this evening.
All right, so we'll pull item D from the consent agenda and move it to item 4, you said? Or 5?
Past 4.
So we'll move it 5, and then we'll move everything else down 1. So finance will be 6, public comment 7, other business will be 8. All right. So with that being removed, fee schedule being removed, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as modified.
So moved.
All right, motion by Commissioner Carpenter. Any further discussion? All right, all in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. We'll go on to zoning. Jeremiah.
Good evening, Commissioners. Would the County Attorney like to provide some procedural guidance before we begin?
All right, so good evening. So tonight we have 2 legislative cases, no quasi-judicial. So a legislative hearing is a forum for expressing public opinion about a project. And anyone is able to speak at these matters. However, we ask that you not offer any unsupported opinions or speculations and limit your testimony. So I need to confirm with all board members that no board members have a conflict of interest in regards to the cases before us tonight. This is on either board. No member shall participate in or vote in a manner that would violate the applicant's constitutional rights to an impartial decision maker. Impermissible violations of due process include a member having a fixed opinion prior to hearing the matter that is not susceptible to change, undisclosed ex parte communications, a close familial, business, or other associational relationship with the applicant, or a financial interest in the outcome of the matter. Does any board member on either board have such a conflict?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
All right.
All right, well, we can begin with tonight's first case for the Planning Board and the Board of Commissioners. Zoning map amendment number 771. Jerry Paul Gilbert III is the applicant in this case, and he is requesting the rezoning of a 0.717 acre parcel from residential single family to residential suburban. That parcel is located on the west side of Harmon Road, about 1,000 feet south of Highway 27 West in the Howards Creek Township. The property is adjoined on all sides by property that's zoned residential single family, and land uses in this area include both residential and agricultural uses. This property is located within an area that's designated by the Lincoln County Land Use Plan as rural living, suitable for residential uses on large lots. You do have included in your packet a summary of the permitted uses under both the current zoning district and the proposed zoning district. And you also have included in your packet the planning staff's proposed statement of consistency and reasonableness, and we are recommending approval of this proposal. I believe that covers the information that I have for you this evening. If you have any questions of me, I'll be glad to help.
Anyone have any questions for Jeremiah? Okay. Is the applicant here? If you would state your name and address when you get to the podium.
Jerry Paul Gilbert III, currently at 358 Colonial Village Drive, Lincoln.
Is there anything else you'd like to add to this?
I would like to, I guess, move back home. I got a piece of land up there that was given to me quite a few years ago, and I'm just trying to get back to my dad and my grandfather and my grandmother, because they're pretty bad health at this point in time, so.
Okay. All right, I will open the public hearing for ZMA 771. And having one person signed up to speak, I believe this is Kenny Pedway. If you would state your name and address.
Kimmy Petway, 1523 Kelly's Landing Drive in Mount Holly. I took a breath to the notes that were included into the rezoning packet, so I wanted to keep it brief. So big thing, honestly, for me is just wanted to, for one, present the benefits of just a new home into the area. What we do, I work for Clayton Homes, and so we're kind of bridging the gap, between, $500,000 homes, and the vice versa. And so we're really just here, just try to help the families out. And so just a couple of notes I put on the slide there. I put some before and some after kind of photos just to kind of let you know these are two homes that are currently on the street. The photo at the bottom will be the new structure or the new dwelling. And like I said, just wanted to present some bullet points just by bridging the gap and about just the affordability of kind of what we do. We're actually hoping to kind of become more prevalent in some of our surrounding counties as well. I'm myself am trying to buy a home as well, so just wanted just to kind of present that to the board. And then I also included, just in case, money, always helps. And so I also included just some previous homes that we've done in the county. And I included some values at what the homes were appraised at versus what they were purchased for, showing equity within a home, which, I tell people all the time, you can live in this thing for a day and sell it and make a profit. So just wanted to convey that to the group as well. It's always better in black and white to see it that way. So that was all I had. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Seeing no one else signed up to speak in public comments, I will now close the public hearing, and we'll move on to PD 2025-2.
The applicant in this second case, Wade Dev 3 LLC, is proposing rezoning of a 10.36 acre parcel from conditional zoning general business to planned development commercial, specifically for a self-storage facility with outdoor vehicle storage. Since this is a conditional rezoning in the form of a planned development, this would be based on a site-specific vesting plan that has been submitted with the application, and that's included as the last page in your hearing packet. So that plan would serve as the standards for this district if approved. In addition, the applicant has provided a summary of a community involvement meeting that was held on November the 20th of 2025. This subject property is located at the end of West Point Drive, about 300 feet west of NC 16 Business in Catawba Springs Township. There is an adjacent parcel between this property and NC 16 Business. There's a shopping center. This property is also located in the Eastern Lincoln Development District overlay, and it's adjoined by property zoned neighborhood business, residential single family, and planned development mixed use. You've got a mixture of uses in this area, including industrial, business, and residential uses, and the land use plan designates this area as a suburban commercial center, suitable for a variety of commercial uses to serve the daily needs of the surrounding residential neighborhoods. I mentioned that this parcel was currently conditionally zoned general business. It was conditionally rezoned in 2011 based on a site-specific vesting plan for, at that time, a proposed golf driving range and associated facilities. Since the site was never developed, that plan has expired, and so the applicant is proposing to rezone this property based on their own site-specific vesting plan included in your packet. The planning staff is recommending approval of this request. You have, as the second page of your packet, our proposed statement of consistency and reasonableness. And I'll allow the applicant to get into specifics on the proposed site plan, but just a basic overview. Last page of your packet, you'll see a site plan there that shows both uncovered and covered storage for boats and RVs, and a small amount of self-storage units near the front entrance to this development. You've got a proposed gated entrance. Again, this is at the end of a dead-end road, West Point Drive. And with this being a planned development, there are required project boundary buffers with vegetative plantings or retention of the existing native vegetation in those areas around the perimeter of this project. With that, I will be glad to answer any questions that you have for me.
Anyone have any questions for Jeremiah? Okay, is the applicant here? If you'd like to, is there anything you'd like to add? Okay, if you're the applicant, you can come up to add anything.
I think Jeremiah covered it pretty well, but just a few other statements about it. We're requesting planned development, commercial specifically for the county, and so they can limit it to the site and what's shown as a low-impact RV and boat storage use, defined layout, buffering, fencing as shown. Overall, it's a quiet use with infrequent trips, no repairs, no retail activity, anything like that. The site design emphasizes setbacks, screening, and particularly along West Point Drive as well as NC Business 16. There is that undeveloped property that will also add additional screening. We think it's a good fit, and overall, I think that's about it. Tom, unless you have anything?
What was your name? What was your name?
James Swain.
Okay.
So on the plan here at IC, you've got a few houses there. Can we make sure that the lighting is not flooding over into those neighborhood yards? And it's,
Light bleeding? No light bleeding?
yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay. Anyone else have anything for the applicant? Any questions? Anything else y'all like to add?
No?
All right. I will open the public hearing for PD 2025-2. And seeing no one else signed up to speak besides the applicant, I will close the public hearing for PD 2025-2. And at this time, we'll take a 5-minute recess, and the planning board will recess to room 310. If you have any invested interest in that, you can follow them and hear what them deliberate. Okay. Thank you. All right, we're back in session, and we'll go to item number 4, ordinance to amend Chapter 92, exotic animals of the Lincoln County Code of Ordinance. Ms. Gilbert.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair. So tonight, I am bringing back the ordinance to amend Chapter 92. This is the portion that is only in regards to exotic animals. Oh, can you not hear me? Sorry. The only change that has occurred since the last time this was before you, which was at the last meeting in December, is that it was requested by the majority of you that we push out the date for the pre-existing exotic animals. That date is going to be pushed out until February the 4th, 2026, which is 30 days from today's date. So any animal that is owned or harbored in Lincoln County on the 4th day of February 2026 and has or would have been issued a current permit by Lincoln County Animal Services pursuant to the previous version. So it would encompass all of those who currently are permitted, anyone who has been permitted since this process started, and anyone who gets permitted within the next 30 days would all be considered grandfathered. Other than that, and in relation to that, I also, in Section A of 92.12.6, which is the section related to that, pushed out the submission timeline for a application for the pre-existing exotic animals. It was 30 days, but now pushing out the grandfather time. I changed that to 90 days to just give Jana and her staff enough time to properly process all of that. So that would be 90 days from the adoption of the ordinance. So 60 days after the end of that grandfathered period. So that is the only change, and I will take any questions.
Okay, anyone have any questions for Ms. Gilbert? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve ordinance amending Chapter 92, exotic animals of Lincoln County Code of Ordinance.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Carpenter. Any further discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. So y'all know I've been opposed to this ordinance all along, but some people are confused as to why I'm opposed. So I want to, make sure I state why I'm opposed to this ordinance. And there's a couple of reasons. One, as I mentioned before, the ordinance says that these animals are inherently dangerous. If they're inherently dangerous, then either all of them are inherently dangerous or none of them are. And it makes it look like that we're saying that they're dangerous, but if you'll pay us $250, then we'll overlook the fact that they're dangerous. And to me, that's a bad look for the county. The other thing is, to me, the animals deserve better than to live in a cage in somebody's house that may or may not know how to take care of them and properly take care of them along the way. As I stated earlier, we can't get people to take care of their cats and dogs in this county, or we wouldn't be building a $15 million
You are out of order.
shelter.
So hold on 1 minute. So keep the comments in the gallery to 0 right now. We have a commissioner speaking. If you cannot keep your mouth shut, I will ask you to leave. Thank you, Alex. Continue.
So just for multiple reasons, I support a full ban because we took something that was fairly easy to enforce from law enforcement and all the animal control, and now they have to determine whether is it a grandfathered, not grandfathered. So for those reasons, I continue to be opposed.
Okay. All right, so we have a motion by Commissioner Carpenter, to approve. Alex has made his statement. No other statements. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
All right, it's a 3-1 vote, Patton in the nay, so the ordinance is approved. Now we'll move on to moving to the consent agenda item that was removed,
Fee schedule.
and now we are on the fee schedule. Thank you, Bud. Let me find that in the consent agenda here. Ms. Gilbert, if you'd like to present that as well.
Sure. So this is the fee schedule that is being submitted to make the amendments to establish the fees for the grandfathered animal permits and the exempt owner permits. And it's also removing the violations which are set forth in the ordinance because they are penalties, not fees. We have removed them and they are now in the ordinance. But the majority of the changes are to the exotic animal and establishing those new fees. One request that has been made in the past week and over time, the Animal Services Director has requested that an exempt owner who is also a rehabber be exempt from that owner permit. She does have the authority to waive fees, but if we could just do a blank exemption for those that are licensed rehabbers, that has been one request that has been made. We can change it later if we want to.
Yeah, we can amend it.
I'd like to think about that if you don't mind. It's kind of a last minute thing unless I missed something in the readings.
Yeah, we can think on it. We don't have to make that change today. We can bring it back at a later time once a consensus is reached, if one is.
So do you want to vote on that now?
So we won't worry about the rehabber exemption right now. We can bring that back at a later time, once y'all have time to digest that. But right now, we're just, I submitted this to meet the permit fees that had been decided by the board when drafting this ordinance.
Okay, thank you. So we have a fee schedule that has been presented. I'll entertain a motion to approve the fee schedule as presented from the consent agenda.
Mr. Chairman, can we talk about a few things on that first? The grandfathered animal permit, $250, I think that's a little steep. I think $100, and then here they got $100 for additional. I mean, right now, we're currently at $50, correct? $150, okay then, all right. So I think, say we just leave it at $150. And that's it, if it's a residence. If you've got your animals, you register it, let's do $150. Now, businesses, if you're charging and making money off of it, I mean, $250. That's what I think.
Okay,
Anybody else got an opinion on it?
Well, just to be fair and consistent, I'll be voting against this. Now that the ordinance is passed, we've told these folks that this is all the animals they can ever have. And to me, charging them a yearly fee on top of that it seems excessive to me. Again, it makes it look like the money's more important than the original intent of why we were here.
But they're already paying the $150 currently. So you want to weigh all of it.
okay, so, all right. So we have a motion that we will amend the fee schedule to $150 for the registration fee. And then how many after? Just $150 altogether?
Yeah.
And,
So we're not here to make money off this. This is just for the processing fee of doing it and the manpower that it takes when they go up there and whatever animal control has to do.
Is it 150?
It's currently
per animal
150. No, it's 150, period.
To register
Your animal.
animals?
Yeah.
there's not gonna be a per animal fee.
No, I mean, we're not,
I'm just asking.
to me, I'm not here to, like Commissioner Patton said, I'm not here to make money in
Okay,
storage.
I just wanna understand.
It's basically just to recoup some of the time and effort from the animal services.
So, Chairman, may I ask for clarification, just so I understand for the board's sake? So, if I understand Commissioner Carpenter, you're suggesting to amend this fee schedule to take the grandfathered animal permit, put it down back to the 150, and then exclude that second fee
Yes.
altogether?
Yes.
So it would not be based on an animal, it would be
Based on the
150
residents.
to register
Yep.
the resident that houses these animals. And for the sake of clarity, there will be no new registrations under the current ordinance outside the minimum window. So this will not be reoccurring because there will be no new animals. These are only for the grandfathered existing animals that have been acknowledged and registered with animal services up to the point that's been provided on the extension.
Correct.
The only additional registrations that could occur are exempt animals that could come in. So the exempt owners, say there's
For the
more
rehab.
rehabbers.
Right.
There's a USDA facility that moves here, something like that. They could be, but they would be under that exempt owner permit. And that's what I wanted to clarify. Does that need to be dropped to 152? Is that going to be your motion?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, if we're gonna do the other one, let's do that one to 150 as well.
Thank you, Megan. That's where I was going next on the exempt. All right, I think that's my clarification, is make sure I understand what the Commissioner's referring to. Thank you.
So your motion is for the grandfathered animal permit, base fee plus one animal, 150. You want to strike grandfathered animal permit per each additional animal at $100.
Yep,
Take that out,
yep, that's what I'm, yep. And I wanna do the exempt owner permit to 150.
150,
Yeah.
okay. Does everybody understand the motion by Commissioner Carpenter?
And that would still be an annual fee.
Yes, annual fee,
Okay? Yep. Everybody understand the motion Commissioner Carpenter has for the fee schedule? All right, any further discussion on that? Okay, all in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Okay, so we have a 3-2 vote for the fee schedule,
Yeah, 3-1.
or 3-1, excuse me, 3-1 for the fee schedule with Patton in the no. And we'll move on to number 6, finance report. Deanna?
Good evening, Commissioners.
Good evening.
Tonight, you have in front of you the financial report for October, which is 1/3 of the fiscal year. Investment earnings through October were $377,000. There was $1.9 million still in the interest revenue in the pooled account to still be distributed. Taxes through October were at $72.3 million. Sales taxes, we had received $5.4 million, it's like a month and a half. Total revenues in the general fund in October were at almost 54%. Expenditures were at 33%. Utility fund revenues were at 36.72%, and expenses were at 37%. And solid waste fund revenues were at 65%, and expenses are at 30%. The audit was finished. However, we were waiting, or they were waiting on the federal compliance supplement to be released so they could finish the audit, which, as we all know, the government shut down, stuff wasn't done. They did get the federal compliance supplement, I believe, mid-December, so we're just in somebody's stack. Once they get to us, they'll finish the audit, get it to the LGC hopefully by the end of the month, and then get it presented to y'all, most likely in February. Are there any questions? And we'll present November next week.
Okay, anyone have any questions for Deanna? All right, thank you. All right, next is public comment. This is where we allow citizens to address the board concerning any matter. Let me remind you to give us your name, address for the record, and you'll have 3 minutes to speak as an individual and 5 for a group. And the group has to be present and represented here with us. First on to speak is Jesse Putnam.
Jesse Putnam, 4265 Kent Street. I'm not really sure. I think with the fee schedule changes, it makes what I'm going to say irrelevant, but I'm going to waste y'all's time one more time, just for fun. That comes as no surprise. Obviously, no matter what evidence or circumstance we brought would change your decision. I guess this is North Carolina's version of democracy. Well, whatever. You were voted in, so we all just have to deal with it. It's clear how you, and by extension, this county plans to operate. So with that being said, I just want out. I don't want to live in Lincoln County, in the Lincoln County you're creating, but I need to leave cleanly and with my livelihood intact. I plan to move myself, my family, and my entire operation to South Texas. I feel like they hold a high respect for my personal freedoms out there. That being said, I can't move overnight. I need to find a very specific property. I need to be driving distance from an international airport. I need adequate acreage. I need basic infrastructure like an insulated building. And I, of course, need to be in a relatively rural area. This won't be easy to find. I also need to generate more revenue to fund this move. Just a quick estimate I came up with on moving costs is around $15,000. I need time to set up the new property and sell both of my properties in Lincoln County. I have a combined 10 acres here. Maybe one of you can buy it and stuff 40 families in it. I need 30 months to handle all my business here and set up my new business there. No one can abide by the terms you have set up for this fake grandfather clause, and you knew that when you made it. Furthermore, the quick addition to the regulation that allows you to reject applications shows you are acting out of retaliation. I need a real grandfather clause. I need to be able to operate under the ordinance that was legal 5 years ago when I moved here and was legal up until this morning. Charging me with a Class 3 misdemeanor and taking me to court is more hassle for the county than it's worth. You won't get my animals without a fight, and even if you do, that's a lot of animals for you to figure out what to do with. I'm sure you just euthanize them, but you'd have to hire an expert to come in and identify and handle. 30 months puts me at summer 2028. The kids are out of school and the warm weather means I can transport my animals safely. If by some miracle I can leave sooner, please believe nothing would make me happier. My family is in Huntersville, Boone, and Cleveland County. I don't ever need to step foot in Lincoln County again. I really just want out of this place before you turn it into Mecklenburg County. I feel like the head of Animal Services, Ms. Aviles, and I have had no issue with one another, and I'm happy to work it out with her on the details of my limited term real grandfather clause. I don't want to see any of your faces again today, after today. Let's just wash our hands of each other and get it over with. I get it, you win.
All right, next on the list is Elizabeth Cassie.
Hello again. Elizabeth Castley here, North Carolina resident. I didn't bring prepared comments for you because I didn't know how this was going to go. I had a little bit higher hopes. You know, the people who keep animals are some of the kindest, sweetest, gentlest people I know. They care about their residents, their neighbors, their friends, their family. And this ordinance is crushing their hearts. There are families with pets that you are never going to hear from. They know better than to come to you and try and talk to you about this. They're people that don't want to break rules, but you've made rules that they're just going to break. They're going to hide their animals, and they're going to feel bad about it. And I think that's just plain rude of you to pass an ordinance like this. But I have a serious question that you still haven't answered, and that's how are people supposed to know what animals are allowed and what animals are not? You have a very clear list of specific animals that are never going to have an exemption. You have a wishy-washy list of things that are allowed, but you have no route, no avenue, no instructions for people to say, hey, I have a pet hedgehog. Is this allowed? It's not on the list. It's not in the good list. It's not on the bad list. And they have no clear direction from you. So not only are you writing rules that are breaking their hearts, you're writing rules that are not followable. We don't understand them. And my last comment is, you know, this is about dangerous animals. You have the authority given to you by North Carolina to control what we do with our dangerous animals. And I think if an animal is dangerous, it's really clear. It's really evident to us hey, this dog bites people, this is a dangerous animal. I think it should be very easy and simple and straightforward to say, this is a dangerous animal. We're not going to allow dangerous animals in our county. That is a reasonable thing to say, and I don't think anybody would fight you on that. But so many of the animals on your list pose no danger to anyone. You might be afraid of them. Personally, you might think snakes are the devil. But when you come down to facts, they're not hurting people. These animals are not hurting people. Dogs are out there hurting people. We know that. We deal with that. You can deal with all of the animals the same way. It would be very simple to say, if an animal, unprovoked, hurts someone, it's a problem animal, and we're kicking it out. There's no need for all of these lists and rules and grandfathering and permits and money. Just be reasonable about people's pets. They mean everything to them. Everything. Thank you.
So we have Cassidy Denny.
Hey, guys. Okay, so the term inherently dangerous.
If you would state your name and address.
Cassidy Denny.
Speak into the microphone, please. Thank you, dear.
Cassidy Denny, 4265 Kent Street. Okay, so the term inherently dangerous animal has been thrown around a bunch since it's all started. Mr. Patton, you yourself even said that an inherently dangerous animal means something that is dangerous and you can't do anything about it. My wolf dog and my Quadamundi do not fit that explanation. Sounds like willful ignorance to me. Y'all also brought up the fact that we're trying to protect DSS workers, first responders, and police officers. I am a social worker, and my love for exotic animals has helped me build rapport with many of my clients. And lastly, I know Jesse's been a jerk. So if you don't want to work with him and give him a grandfather, please let us figure this out and just get out of here in a timely manner. Thank you.
Gunny Hall.
Gunny Hole, 319 North Poplar Street, Lincoln, North Carolina. This is supposed to be a conservative county and a conservative state, other than somehow or another we've had fraudulent elections even in North Carolina, and we got, I don't believe in so much races or politics or parties. It ought to be one for America. And yet we have our current governor who illegally basically said that there are more than two sexes and closed out a law that a legislator's made, and he had to be overridden. Well, this is really no different. We're challenging the creator of heaven and earth, Yah, saying that animals are more important, or not animals really, but dogs and cats are more important than, one, any other animal, but two, more important than babies in the womb. We have a no-kill county, but our good county attorney makes sure we know none of this stuff means people, human beings. You can pull, or you cannot pull, toes or legs or whatever off a dog or cat, but you can sure pull them off for a baby in the womb. Murder them. And the scripture says in Deuteronomy 5:17 and Exodus 20:13, thou shalt not murder. So how is it we're going to say that we have a no-kill county? Of course, we're talking about only cats and dogs, but we can murder babies in the womb. And then we want to say that somebody who's not, we choose not to, or we ignore what they say is a pet, which is whether it's a monkey or a snake or whatever it may be, and say it's only be cats and dogs. I also served over 20 years in the fire department and over 13 years in rescue squad. So just to say that, it's about protecting them, I still think that's hogwash with some of the rules you make about removing in emergency some of these things that are a danger, and they need to be kept where they are when we have a disaster. So I'm never going to let it lay down with y'all. We spend probably $20 million. I don't know what we really done for this no-kill zone, but you just decided for a 15 million cat and dog house while we got veterans, we got homeless on the street and everything else. It's just your priorities are way out of sorts, and they make no sense at all, other than, like I said, your whole goal is to challenge our Creator in His face and say nothing matters.
All right, thank you. Next, Tanya Baker.
It's Barker. Tanya Barker, 116 Julia Drive. I have two questions about this ordinance. One is what he just said about the big shelter that's been built. There's lack of officers now with animal control. I have had my monkey for almost 14 years, and y'all are wanting to charge, it was $250, and now we're down to $150. Some of us that have been in this for the long haul, we're paying literally $25 for registration every year. I didn't even know it had gone up to $150 because we've been battling this for years now. And I have not seen anybody at all this year in my home. All of 2025, not one animal control officer came to my home. Well, what am I paying for? Can y'all tell me that? I mean, there's not enough officers now, and y'all are building this huge multi-million-dollar facility. And how, I mean, please somebody explain this to me. Y'all want money out of me to come to my home, and nobody comes to my home. In all the 14 years I've had her, I have had 3 visits. 3. Can anybody explain that to me? I mean, Lord knows I appreciate y'all are grandfathering me in because I have done everything I'm supposed to in 14 years, but can somebody please explain that to me? I'm not blaming Jana. She walked into a mess a couple years ago, but can somebody please explain that to me? Okay, my other question is this microchip issue. Why are y'all requesting animals be microchipped? Do y'all have any idea what exotic animals go through every time they're being anesthetized? They take such a huge risk of dying every time they are put under gas or ketamine or anything like that. I have one animal, and she's 6.5 pounds, and some of these people have livelihoods with these. But this microchip issue, I promise you, if my monkey ever got out and she is terrified of going outside, I would climb a tree after her. I do not care. If I would call animal control myself, y'all would know if my monkey ever got loose. But we have followed the rules and done everything we were supposed to. Do you really think if any of our exotics got loose that we would not call y'all right off the bat or call animal control or anybody, EMS, anybody, to say, hey, we've got an exotic loose? Now, some of these people that y'all don't know about that we might know about, yeah, they're not going to call you. But why are we being required to pay all this additional money for microchipping? Can y'all answer that? Those are 2 of my biggest questions. Why am I having to pay all this money for people that I have not seen, and why are we having to pay? I mean, we're talking a couple $100 just to go to a vet, an exotic vet, for microchipping. And if my monkey did get loose, I would catch her with the net before y'all ever knew about it, and y'all would never be able to even scan her. She'd never make it to a vet to be scanned for a microchip. So I'm just wondering why the microchip was even put in there. Because these businesses, I'm telling you, you're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars for some of them. And you're talking about a $500 to $800 bill just for me to have a microchip put in my one monkey. So I'm just wondering about these 2 things, the fee and the lack of officers and this microchip thing. Is there any way y'all can answer that? I mean, I know it's passed, but can y'all answer it?
All right, thank you. Next, we have Brittany Fell. All right, next we have Philip Fernandez.
Hello, my name is Philip Fernandez, and I'm speaking for a group. I live at 655 Hoffman Road. I just want to bring forward some points and a few opinions about the exotic animal ordinance. I'm going to be mainly regurgitating a lot of points because a lot of people have gone before me. I didn't realize so many people would be speaking. Now, I think that a total ban sorry, this is my first time speaking. I think a total ban in exotic animals is overstepping authority, and that it's frankly ridiculous to try and implement. It's unrealistic to try to like a lot of people mentioned, people are going to hide their pets, people are going to make it difficult, or it's just, and the money thing comes across not very well. It's not very good optics. Now, what this money could be used for is something like a class or a test that people could take online, and that would allow for more information to be put in, because a lot of people do mistreat their exotic animals, even dogs. Like a lot of people, I used to live in Florida, people had huskies there, and I thought that's ridiculous because it's so hot you can't take them outside and run around. So I think people need to be educated, most importantly. Many people who are disabled or can't have kids, they rely on these animals for emotional stability, and they get the same gratitude or the same joy for caring for these animals that many people get for caring for their kids. And I think that it's not right to take that away from them. And I do understand the grandfather clauses to try and help people who are currently relying on their exotic animals or have their exotic animals. You don't want to kick them out. But I think that people in 5 years should still be able to have these rights and freedoms that are just, frankly, not the government's place to put a halter on. I understand that these animals could be potentially harmful to local ecology if they get out. There was going back to Florida, there was the banana anacondas that ran rampant out there. But in North Carolina, that's not nearly as big of an issue because of the way the seasons change. A lot of exotic animals couldn't survive outside over a year, or especially not reproduce and get out of hand. And I want to go back to the priorities. I think that it's a lot of government and it's a lot of resources spent on something that is probably not going to work out that well or have very many immediate or long-lasting effects, and that money could be used more efficiently and somewhere else, like the multi-million-dollar facility is frankly unnecessary. I could go back to that class that I was proposing earlier. People could take online and get a permit, and then the $150, $200 would actually make sense to be charging, because people would actually be getting something out of it other than a slip that says, okay, you're good to go. I think that's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Valerie Cook.
Hi, my name is Valerie Cook. I live at 330 D Street. I respectfully ask that you not adopt, a little too late, I know, but you're going to hear it anyway, not adopt the proposed exotic animal ban in its current form. Public safety and animal welfare are already addressed under North Carolina law. Under NC General Statute 14-360, animal cruelty and neglect are criminal offenses and apply to all animals, including exotics. Counties also already have regulatory authority under NCGS 153A/121 to address health and safety concerns through zoning, permitting, and nuisance enforcement without banning ownership outright. This ordinance is overly broad and does not distinguish between irresponsible ownership and responsible regulated care. Many exotic animal owners in Lincoln County already comply with state and federal regulations, maintain proper enclosures, and work with licensed veterinarians. A blanket ban does not improve safety, it removes oversight. The ordinance also creates serious enforcement and cost concerns. Confiscation, transport, and long-term care of exotic animals require specialized facilities and training. Lincoln County Animal Services, as we all know, is not currently equipped for this, and the ordinance provides no funding plan. This risks shifting significant costs onto taxpayers. It's also important to note that Lincoln County has a PetSmart location that lawfully sells exotic animals. As a national corporation, their anticipated response would be simple withdrawal, ending sales or relocating animals rather than engaging in local regulation. This reduces transparency and does nothing to address actual safety concerns while disproportionately impacting local residents. The removal of exotic animals and their supplies could also cause potential revenue to be removed from Lincoln County, as pet owners of exotics, even grandfathered ones, would need to travel outside of our own county and spend money in another county. And in the form of tax revenue, we would be losing out on that. History shows that bans often lead to unintended consequences. Animals being surrendered, abandoned, moved out of state, county, or kept hidden. That outcome harms both public safety and animal welfare. A better approach, fully supported by North Carolina law, would be targeted regulation, permitting, enclosure standards, inspections, and strong penalties for neglect or unsafe conditions. Lincoln County deserves practical, enforceable policy, not a blanket prohibition. I respectfully ask that you reject this ordinance or delay it to pursue a more balanced solution. Thank you very much for your time and service.
All right, thank you. All right, having no one else signed up to speak, I will close the public comment, and we will go to number 8, other business. Is there any other business to come before this board at this time? Any other business? Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved, sir. I'd move to adjourn.
We have a motion made by Commissioner Cecina. Any further discussion? All right, hearing none. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, we are adjourned.